Hey boys and girls from Miss Christie's class, it's Miss Lisa the art teacher. Hi guys, how are you doing? Cassidy, how are you, my little helper? How have you been? Julian, I hope you're being good. I miss you so very much. And Jose, how have you been? Jaden, Michael, Madison, how's everybody doing? Kerry, Taha, I hope you're all doing fine and missing me and art. Well, I understand this week it's around the world and you're learning about different countries, and your country is Antigua. That's why I'm wearing my great headpiece, because these are some of the beautiful, vibrant colors that you find on the island. And you know what? The island inspired me to make these dolls. We're going to make these yarn dolls today because they remind me of the islanders. They wear these outfits that are very vibrant, like these colors here, in a plaid pattern. Do you remember plaid patterns? We did that with Georgia O'Keeffe when we did her big hats. That was a plaid pattern. And we're going to do the same thing, and we're going to use some really bright colors like this pink and orange, yellow and green to create our pattern. It's going to be these beautiful bright colors from the island of Antigua. Now, I'm sending you some yarn. I've given you just enough to create a doll. I'm also sending you some tissue paper, and I'll show you what to do with that later. And you're also going to get some construction paper. The construction paper is going to look like a pattern, not a pattern like the plaid, but a pattern that people would use that are seamstresses when they're making clothing. It's a very basic pattern. All it is a long strip of paper with a circle in the center. And I don't have it here, so I'm going to draw a really quick circle so I could show you what to do with that pattern. Okay? I'm going to need this for my circle. I'm going to trace a circle in the center. And I want this to look just like yours, okay? Because I thought I had that piece here, but it's missing. So how's everybody doing? You miss me? I miss you. I hope you're all working on your projects. I hope you're enjoying the projects. I'm trying to make them as creative as possible, and I'm trying to make it so you guys keep busy, okay? All right, so your pattern is similar to this. It's just a long sheet of paper, and it has a circle in the middle. I'm going to use the black marker so you can see it better. It's kind of a crooked circle. Don't worry, I'm doing this quick, okay? What I want you to do is cut out the circle. That's why this is bent in half. Makes it much easier to cut the circle out. See? Okay. What you're going to do with this is you're going to draw your plaid pattern on the cloth. Okay? So, I'm going to arrange my camera so you can see how I do it. Hang on. Okay, so here's the pattern that we're going to work with. I'm going to, actually what I want to do is put it on something darker. I'm going to put it on my cutting board so you can actually see it. Because it's white on white, you can't really see. Okay, so fold it in half. Keep it folded while you work with it. Take out your vibrant colors. I think I'm going to start with green. And I'm just going to draw lines up and down my white pattern. This is going to become my yarn doll's dress, or if it's a male doll, his shirt. And then I want to crisscross with another vibrant color, so I'm going to grab my orange. And you guys, you could use whatever colors you want, but I'd like you to keep to these vibrant, bright yellows, bright greens, lime greens, pinks, tangerines, all the beautiful, vibrant colors that you find on the island of Antigua. Now maybe I'll take some pink and I'll put the pink coming down this way in a thinner line. These are the patterns that you see and the colors that you see on the island and the traditional clothing that they wear on the island. Really beautiful. And then let's throw in some yellow. Brightens it right up, okay? And of course we're going to do the same thing on the other side. So then you just turn it over and do the same thing on this side. Oh my goodness, I'm working with these scented markers. This smells like a lemon. Boy, does that smell good. You see that? Now I'm going to take the pink and crisscross. Remember, plaid is lines that crisscross diagonally and horizontally and vertically. And that's what we're doing now. We're making horizontal lines and vertical lines. And we're crossing them over each other. I'm going very fast. You can take your time. Let's throw in this orange. Look how beautiful these colors are together. They're so vibrant. Okay, so now that the dress is ready, let's start our doll. Okay, so I've sent you all just enough yarn to make a little doll. What you're going to do is take that yarn. You need to find a very hard book because this is what you're going to wrap your yarn around, okay? I have to bring the camera down so you can see. Here's my book, very hard. Not too big. You don't want too big of a book. And you're going to take the yarn that I sent you and just wrap it around the book. I'm going to count the amount that I know you have. That was 2, 3, 4. Hold on, it got knotted up. My yarn got knotted up. I got to open it up. Okay, let me cut this. Okay, you have a big bag of yarn that looks like this. You're going to have this around the book nice and tight. I'm also sending you a little ball of yarn that you're going to use to tie everything together. All right? So we're going to take this off of the book carefully so that it stays in its position. Okay? And we want to start making our doll's head. So we're going to start up at the top here, keeping it in tight together. See, we have the doll here like this. This is the string we just took off the book. Some of the extra string that I sent you, you're going to tie around the top of the yarn to make the head of the doll, okay? So I'm tying a knot up at the top to make my doll head. Now I made a doll already, but I don't know where I put it. Oh, there she is. She's up there. Hang on. I'll get her. There. Okay? I'm going to wrap it around and tie it again. Doesn't have to be perfect. Don't worry. We're learning. Okay. So, let me cut the extra strings. So that's the head. Let me show you what the doll looks like. Okay, this is the doll I made. See, she has her plaid top on. I made her head. You can see that it's tied. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take the bottom where it's all looped, and we're just going to cut the bottom so it's all strings that aren't looped. Make sure you get them all. Okay, so it's nice, not looped together. See how the top is looped, but the bottom is just free. Okay, so now that you did that, I'll bring it back up. What I want you to do is divide your body. You want to have arms. So let's get apart some arms. Now, if it's a female doll, you don't have to divide it anymore. But if it's a male doll, you want to divide it so you have legs. But we're going to do a girl doll right now. So this is what I'm showing you. We have the 2 arms, which we're going to braid each arm. But the body, we could leave flat, straight the way it is because it's just a dress. It's the bottom of the dress. So if you know how to braid, take the 1 arm section and braid it. So I'm going to have to put this down to braid it. So let's see if you want to see it. Hang on. All right, to braid, you divide it into 3 parts. Okay. Hold 3. Keep them separate. The first one goes over the second. The third one goes over the first. And we're intertwining to create the braid. It's best if you have somebody to hold the doll in place while you braid. Go over the middle. Keep crossing over the piece that winds up in the middle and alternating left, right, okay? So till you get a braid. See how that braid is? Okay. Then I have some extra yarn that I sent you. This is another time where you're going to use that extra yarn to tie her arm together. So now we have an arm on one side. Now we're going to do the same thing with the yarn that we used or separate it for the other arm. Divide it into 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay. And then we're going to crisscross over the middle. This one goes over the middle. Now it's in the middle. Next side goes over the middle. Now that's in the middle. And you just keep going over the middle piece. Whichever winds up in the middle. The left, go left to right. Sorry. Left to right. See how that is? And if there's somebody holding it, we can make it much tighter. Okay. It's best if you have a partner there helping you, holding everything in place. All right, so there's our second arm. So now I'm going to take another little piece from the yarn, the extra yarn that I sent you. Okay. Here it is over here. And I'm going to tie my other arm together. All right, so now we have 2 arms and a head. So being it's going to be a girl, I'm just going to put another piece right where her waist would be, okay? So let's get our extra yarn. Make a waist. Tie it around our doll. Okay, clip the extra piece off. Now let's make her arms the same length. Make her hands even. There we go. Very good. Cut a little bit of the excess string that we use for tying. Okay, now let's go back to the dress we made with our pattern. Now the hole, obviously, we're going to stick her head through it. So let's get our doll and stick her head through there. Okay, now it's kind of like just laying here. It's a little long, so I'm going to trim the bottom of her dress so it's a little shorter. I just don't want it so long. And I'm going to grab some more of my extra yarn that I sent to you, because now we're going to belt her and her dress. Okay. I'm going to tie it at the waist. I'm going to pinch it a little bit so it goes in and over to the side. Fold over to the side. You know, you're going to play with it a little bit so that it's only paper, so it's hard to make it go in the curve the way we want it to, because it is paper. If it was cloth, it would be much softer and easier to work with. So now let's fix her up a little bit. Fix her dress. Here we go. Okay, so now we have our doll. She has her dress. What should we do with her head? Well, they use these beautiful headpieces when they put on their clothing, and they're really bright colors as well. That's where your tissue paper comes in. I want you to take your tissue paper lengthwise and crunch it together. This will make it nice and strong. See what I'm doing? I'm crunching it together. And then we're going to thread it through the loop of her head. So try to get all the pieces in and thread it through the loop of her head. Oops, I missed a couple of loops. I go back down. There we go. Okay. All right, so now it's through her head. And what we want to do is tie it in a knot. Maybe another knot. Okay, try to fix her head a little bit. And hang on. And here is your island-inspired yarn doll with all the beautiful, vibrant colors of the island of Antigua with a plaid pattern on one of the islanders. I hope you enjoyed making my yarn doll. I certainly enjoyed coming up with it. I was very inspired by the beautiful colors of the island, as you can see by my headpiece. All right, boys and girls, have a good time making your yarn doll, learning about Antigua and the Caribbean, and I'll see you next time. This is Miss Lisa, your art teacher, saying, first of all, I miss you, and second, ciao for now from my table of art. Bye-bye, kids.